Okay, so the future of AI is literally being built as we speak, and it really boils down to one huge choice. Is it going to be controlled by just a few powerful players, or is it going to be owned by, well, everyone? In this explainer, we're going to look at a project that's fighting hard for that second path.
Yeah, this isn't just some tech debate. It's a high-stakes race for control, plain and simple. I mean, as this quote says, this project could totally change the rules of the game. It could reshuffle the deck for the giants like OpenAI. The thing is, right now, they're the ones writing the rules, and a lot of people are worried their version of the future is going to leave the rest of us behind.
All right, so before we can even talk about a solution, we've got to wrap our heads around the problem. Let's take a look at the new AI power map and see who's really pulling the strings. So who's in charge of AI today? Well, it's pretty much a handful of tech giants. You know the names: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, OpenAI, and a couple of geopolitical superpowers, the US and China. These guys are building these enormous centralized data centers. And look at this stat. 80% of all cloud computing is already controlled by just 5 companies. It's a monopoly, and we're seeing the exact same thing happen with AI. It's an exclusive club for sure.
And you know what? It's not just about corporate monopolies anymore. This is getting serious. Control over AI is becoming a massive tool of geopolitical power. We're already seeing entire nations being told they have to ask the US State Department for permission just to buy the advanced AI chips they need. Think about that. Access to the very foundation of this technology is now being controlled by governments, which basically locks out most of the world.
But what if there was another way, right? A different path where control isn't in the hands of a few, but shared by everyone. This is that decentralized dream, a vision that's really being pushed by these 2 serial entrepreneurs, Daniel and David Lieberman.
And these guys, the Lieberman brothers, they're not new to this game. They've been thinking about decentralization for over 20 years, way before it became a buzzword. I mean, look at this timeline. Back in 2002, they were building fiber optic networks, learning all about distributed systems. Then in 2005, they had this crazy idea to link up thousands of gaming PCs to create a single supercomputer. So this project they launched in 2023, Gonka, it's not some sudden pivot. It's really the culmination of a lifetime's work. It's been their obsession.
So, what exactly is this alternative they're talking about? Well, it's a completely different way of looking at how we build and control AI. Instead of having one giant brain stuck inside a single company's data center, imagine AI being powered by thousands, maybe millions of smaller, interconnected computers all over the world. A truly global network that no single person or company can own.
This really lays out the 2 futures we're facing. It's a clear choice. On one side, you've got centralized AI, which is basically a walled garden. A gatekeeper decides who gets in, what you can do, and how much you have to pay. On the other side, you have decentralized AI, which is more like an open public park. Anyone can show up, anyone can participate, build, and benefit. One path leads to depending on these superpowers, the other leads to sovereignty.
Okay, but here's the million-dollar question, right? How can some grassroots network possibly hope to compete with the billions upon billions of dollars that big tech is pouring into AI? Well, the answer, it turns out, was hiding in plain sight, inside Bitcoin's kind of controversial design. And this is the classic David versus Goliath problem. I mean, seriously, the tech giants are building data centers the size of small cities. How could a decentralized movement, a bunch of Davids, ever hope to match that kind of raw, centralized power? And then, they had this huge aha moment. They realized that the world's crypto miners had, without anyone really noticing, built the most powerful distributed computer in history. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. If you add up all the computing infrastructure that's dedicated to Bitcoin, it is actually larger than the combined cloud infrastructure of Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. The world's largest secret data center was already built. And that right there is the key insight. For years, all we heard was how Bitcoin wastes energy, right? But that whole narrative distracted everyone from its brilliant secret. It's a perfect blueprint for how to build massive, decentralized infrastructure. It showed how you could incentivize millions of people all over the world to build a globally distributed supercomputer.
So, this insight is what led to Gonka. It's a project that basically hacks Bitcoin's core mechanism, taking all that wasted work and turning it into something incredibly useful: AI computation. Let's dig into how the race actually works.
Okay, so this is a really elegant solution. It basically flips the Bitcoin model on its head. Instead of this constant, energy-guzzling marathon of useless math problems, Gonka, which, by the way, means race in Russian, has all the computers compete in a super short sprint, like a 100-meter dash.
This quick race is just enough to prove who the most powerful computers are and to keep the network secure. But here's the genius part. Once that short race is over, all that incredible computing power is freed up to do actual, productive AI work. It makes the whole thing vastly more efficient and way, way cheaper.
So, you see, this isn't just some abstract technical idea anymore. It's becoming a real movement, and the stakes are huge, globally. This is about who gets to build, own, and actually benefit from the next technological era, a future owned by all.
And the proof is in the pudding, right? This idea is absolutely catching on. Just look at the growth. In its first 3 months, the Gonka network just exploded, going from about 60 GPUs to over 6,000. That kind of exponential growth proves that the model works. It can attract people at an incredible rate, building this powerful grassroots network from the ground up.
What this does is completely reshuffle the global power map. Think about it. For the nearly 200 countries that aren't the US or China, trying to build their own giant AI data centers is a losing game. They just can't compete. But by pulling their resources together in a decentralized network, they can become collectively competitive. It totally changes the game. It stops being about who owns the most expensive hardware and starts being about who has the best talent.
And at the end of the day, this brings us right back to that fundamental choice we started with. The infrastructure for global intelligence is being laid down right now, today. So the question is, who do you want owning it? Are we going to let it become this closed-off monopoly? Or are we going to build an open movement where everyone has a stake? The future of AI is being built now. Who should own it?